everyone, I'm Mary Oakes, your host of Isagenix's Wellness in Conversation. I'm sitting down today with the incredible Dr Mia Chorney, a global speaker, a doctor of nursing practice, a clinician, which means she's still hands-on with patients, and the newest addition to the Isagenix Scientific Advisory Board. Dr Mia, welcome to Wellness in Conversation. It's so lovely to have you here.
It is incredible to join you today. This morning for me, tonight for you. So great to be here.
Exactly. Now, I know you've been taken to the global health stages by storm recently, not only in the US and Canada, but also in Qatar. So we're very lucky to have you actually in the hot seat today discussing what has been dubbed the holy grail of supplements, the magical white powder, creatine. Now, I'd love our listeners to get to know you a little bit better first. Could you tell us a little bit about your background and what, led you to specialise in cardiovascular health, menopause, genetics, etc.?
Thank you, Mari. So I'd like to say to people that I'm like a visionary person in women's health. I blend, my medical background, my genetics background, my AI background. And I'm really, it's important for everyone on the call to know I'm a clinician, but I've also been a patient. I am certified as an elite trainer. I'm certified in sports nutrition. You know that better than me, that, I'm really walking the talk of everything that I absolutely want to educate to my patients. But what I want everyone on the call to know is 8 years ago, I became a user of the product of Isagenix. I was a very sick clinician. I was admitted to Banner University. I had severe pancreatitis, viral, so bad that they were even looking at a liver transplant for me. And when I got discharged out of ICU and got home, I was looking for that incredible recipe to help me reset my body. And that's how I became so passionate about the company of Isagenix. At 32, I had a cardiac arrest. I went down. I was the director of the OR. So I am a heart patient. And I went through a lot of dismissal and people saying she's just 4 months postpartum, she has anxiety, and eventually was medevac to a large tertiary center and treated. I also had a total hysterectomy with my ovaries out at 32, so surgically, so went into menopause young. So I truly come to all of you today, really passionate to make a difference in health optimization and health span.
So you've not only had an experience with some of our Isagenix products, but you are obviously a well-respected clinician on a global scale in your own right. So it's fantastic to hear about that experience you've had in resetting your body. So have you tried the creatine? I've got to ask that first of all.
Of course, day one, I was right on it, and I love it. So, yep, day one, right into it. I've been on creatine, I will tell you, for about 6 years, and been using it daily.
So for those that know nothing about it, what exactly is this and why does our body need it?
Yeah, so creatine is a compound that our body naturally produces from the brain and from the liver, and it helps our brain, our body's energy. It's our quick energy supply. So when we move, think, or we lift something, creatine helps recycle ATP. I'm sure everybody remembers back in biology, ATP, the molecule our cell uses for energy. So think of it as the internal battery pack, and it keeps our cells charged and performing at their absolute best.
And usually we would get creatine from red meats and poultry and fish, but I'm assuming that in today's diet it can be difficult to get the levels that we need. Would that be right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And even for women have lower, we call it, endogenous or our own natural amount of creatine. And that is because a couple of different things. We have less muscle mass, but we also tend to eat exactly what you said, less red meat, less fish than men, right? They're having their big steak and we don't quite eat like that. So it is a natural thing, but a lot of us are not getting it from our food supply like we should. We all are hearing, don't eat red meat, right? As often as we do, once a week maximum, those sort of things for our cholesterol. Plus, women have a little bit more challenges as far as that.
That's interesting. So, because there has been an old-fashioned kind of belief that creatine is just for men or just for bodybuilders, what would your response be to that?
Yeah, absolutely not. Creatine is the most researched supplement on the market. It has, thousands of randomized trials and studies. But we know that because it comes down to muscle mass, dietary patterns, and hormones, and women have less, like I said, muscle mass, and they consume less, but also estrogen plays a really important role in how creatine is synthesized and used. And so we know that we naturally have less baseline of creatine, but we also have real challenges during our hormonal transitions. So creatine is not just for bodybuilders, and we'll talk about that later, but there's some incredible research and benefits of how it's really good for our overall health.
So glad you cleared that up, because I knew that bodybuilders have been using it for decades, but it's good to hear that, the science proves that ordinary people like me can benefit too. So, obviously, women have naturally less creatine stores than men. Very interesting. I'll need to up my game. One thing I love is fat-based stuff. And apparently science is also showing us that creatine isn't just for the body, but also the brain. Can you tell us a little bit more about its role in kind of, mental clarity, mood?
Yeah. So like I was saying before, our brain and our liver tends to be the place that creatine is first produced and helps with ATP. But I want us all to imagine on the call, our brain is extremely active and it is a high consumer of ATP, right? That makes sense to us. It's metabolically very active. So it's very important that it's having adequate levels of creatine. So what we know about the creatine studies, and there's been lots of research and meta-analysis and things like that showing that creatine is helping with things like cognition and memory specifically. When we're looking at executive function, like it doesn't make us smarter or make us, do our math better or anything like that. There's still a lot of research under that section. But as far as helping with mental clarity, brain fog, cognition, there's definitely really incredible work being done in publications showing that it's having a really positive effect for us, for our brain's resilience, and especially when women have their estrogen levels fluctuating, it's showing that it's helping to maintain, all of those things for clarity.
So it can make a real difference during those hormonal stages, perimenopause, menopause.
Yeah, there's actually studies out there right now showing they're looking at animal studies in pregnancy, but they're saying during these challenges, especially for us hormonally, and when the body's really under, they see that creatine fluctuates endogenously, even with our cycles, with our hormones. So absolutely, it's really important for us for our brain health. And so that's why women should be taking it every day, regardless whether they're working out or not. It's been shown to be really powerful for us.
So it's still worth taking creatine even if someone isn't exercising regularly?
100%. Yeah. We should be taking it every single day. Yeah. Great question.
So Dr. Mia, the great thing about you being a clinician is that you're in touch with patients every day. So I'm pretty sure you've heard a few myths going about. Is it okay if I ask you a few about creatine?
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely.
Okay, so if you could help clear this one up. Can creatine cause bloating and water retention?
Yeah, so it doesn't literally cause bloating or water retention, but what creatine does is it helps hold water in our body. So we kind of get what we call intracellular hydration. And that's what helps improve performance, recovery, even, gives the muscles a healthier structure. So you may notice that your weight goes slightly up when you start some creatine because you're holding some intracellular water. But it does level out if you just stay on it, and you'll notice everything just smooths through and those sort of things. But it doesn't literally cause, like some people can say they feel a little bit bloated if they take it, and that's more if you're loading, taking large doses, those sort of things. And that's just telling you, hey, this isn't your dose. Slow it down, because some people take double the dose for a week and they'll load and they might feel a little bit of bloating or those sort of things with it.
And actually, I was going to ask you about dosing. So do you need to load creatine for it to work? Like obviously taking higher doses for several days. Is that a yay or a nay?
So I tell my patients not to, right? So I believe in the theory, start low, go slow, right? And that's with anything that we start. So I just have them do their 5 grams, 1 scoop a day, get on it, and just stay steady. There's no need for any of us. We're not bodybuilders looking to get pumped up. We don't need that. It'll catch up over time and it'll do its thing. So no, I don't recommend that.
Okay, next one, is creatine a steroid?
Oh, no, absolutely not. No, it is not. But it's
Why
often
does
people
it
think
get
that.
confused? People do confuse it, don't they?
Yeah, because they think all the bodybuilders are using it and it's a steroid like testosterone or any of those, but absolutely not. Creatine, all of this sits in the amino acid kind of area, so it's absolutely not a steroid. Great question. I love that.
Well, thanks for clearing up those, crazy creatine rumours.
Yeah.
So getting back to business, I suppose one thing that I'd actually like to know is how soon can people expect to notice a difference when they start taking it?
Yeah, so typically a couple of weeks before, and it depends what you're looking for. So if you're looking for enhanced performance, recovery, those sort of things, definitely a couple of weeks. We notice that people who use it, so let's just talk overall, that people will notice that they have better endurance or better able to build muscle when they're on creatine. And that, of course, we know that takes time, right? But you might notice that you have a better recovery on it after a couple of weeks. Brain health, everybody is individual. I say we're all unique creatures, right? Nobody is the same. And again, you might not notice it, you may notice it, but we know it's good for us to be taking it. And I go back to the rule of 2 to 4 weeks for things like that.
When is the best time actually to take the creatine? Would it be morning, pre-workout, post-workout?
Yeah, so the most important thing is just consistency, right? Take it every day faithfully. We all have periods of the day where we're really great at taking things, and other times you might look and go, oh my gosh, I forgot that, right? So ideally, I'll say, put it in your morning shake every day. Add it in there. Just get it going. Other people may tell you, take it right after you work out. Add it in your post-recovery, whatever you're doing. But overall, I would say to people, just take it when you're going to be able to fit it into your schedule consistently, because health optimization and health span is about consistency over time, not one-off things. So that's what I would recommend to people.
So it's just a matter of, kind of people fitting it into their daily wellness routine, really, isn't it? That actually helps me as a busy mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. I make my shake every morning. I throw it in there. I use my Immune Boost. I like my Fiber Pro in there. And it's just my routine every morning. And then it doesn't get missed.
And so we've cleared up when to take it, which is brilliant. And so next question, I'd like to kind of move into aging well, because the youngsters are planning early and the oldies need to catch up maybe. Muscle loss, bone density, they're kind of big concerns as we age. How does creatine support this?
So creatine enhances the quality of your training by allowing your muscles to work harder and recover faster. Over time, that's going to translate to stronger muscles, denser bones, and better balance and coordination. So strong muscle is protection. It stabilizes our joints, supports our metabolism, reduces falls risk. And for women, especially our perimenopausal and postmenopausal women, it is the cornerstone of aging well and staying, independent living. I don't know if people on the call know, but when we're looking at health optimization, people who live to 100, they're called centurions, and 85% of all centurions are women, 15% are men. But the men who get there are really much healthier than the women. Most women live in chronic disease. So what we want to all do is preserve our muscles, support our bone, make sure we're metabolically solid. And creatine is one of those really important items and products that we could be using every day to help support. The literature is very strong, and there's a lot of incredible studies going on right now exactly in this space.
Amazing that something so simple can keep me out of a nursing home and skipping down the street.
I know. We want to age well. We want to age with quality, not just quantity, right? That's the really important key.
Definitely. And now I'd kind of love to learn more about why Isagenix creatine stands out from the crowd. You're on the scientific advisory board. Why do we have the competitive edge?
So a couple of big things. One, I love that we're third-party tested. So me being a provider and with patients, to me it's always about quality. What are people taking that is a quality product? Because we are what we eat. You cannot out-train a bad diet. You cannot out-train bad nutrients, those sort of things. So for me, it's about the third-party testing and the validation that, number one, that our product is very clean. And the second piece, and I don't know if you want to talk about it yet, but I love that it's micronized. That was a key thing for me that I was like, yes, it's micronized. And so that was really important. And micronized means that the particles are really tiny. And so you can put it in anything. I love that you can put it in water, you can put it in your shake, gosh, you could put it in your coffee, and it would still dissolve perfectly. A lot of creatine can be very gritty that you get in your mouth, or it's not mixing. You can see it all in the bottom of your glass. So boy, Isagenix nailed it with being micronized and being absolutely clean. So.
And can you talk a little bit about why quality and absorption matters so much, when it comes to supplements like this?
Yeah, so when we're looking at quality absorption, again, we're looking at what is the product, how clean is it, because your body, I don't know if people have heard, but there's so much pollution out there, benzenes, glycosphades, all those sort of things. And so we want to make sure whatever we're absorbing is lovely, that it's clean, those sort of pieces for us. And again, Amari, it just goes right back to that. I can't say enough to everybody on the call. You got to make sure your products are clean, that they're coming from a really amazing company, because your body, every cell of your body is absorbing that, right? And you want beautiful, clean products.
This is great to know. A personal question for you now, Dr. Mia. Creatine cocktails. What's your favourite way to take the creatine? I know you've mentioned a few. Would it be with the isoline shake, with the electrolytes, mixed with nootropic elixir?
Okay, I'm going to give you a recipe. You ready? So
Right,
I love coffee. So brew my black coffee in the morning, put some ice in there, shake her up so it's nice and cold. I love my lovely shake. So I put my shake in there, my creatine, and I have a creatine coffee frappuccino.
Ooh,
that is my go-to. So love that. So that would be my recipe for you.
To put into your routine as well, like we were chatting about earlier.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Right, I'm going to give that a go. And finally, what excites you most?
Yeah, so I want everyone to know, the science. Creatine's not for athletes. Let's just clear that right up, right out of the gate. It is for everyone listening to this call who wants to protect their body when we're looking at things like strength, brain health, energy. Make sure everyone's taking 5 grams every day. Pair that, though, with quality movement, adequate protein, clean protein. And the other things that we really know that are important when we're looking at this research area is looking at things like sleep, all of that piece, because these are simple, sustainable health habits that are going to create lifelong resilience and health optimization.
Mia, thank you so much for helping us see creatine through a whole new lens. It's not just for athletes, it's for everyday physical, mental and emotional strength. And if you'd like to learn more about the new Isagenix micronized creatine or connect with one of our wellness advisors to explore how it can fit into your routine, head on over to the Isagenix website or chat with your ISA health coach. Stay strong, stay curious, and remember, real strength starts at the cellular level. So see you next time on Wellness in Conversation. Thank you so, so much, Dr. Mia. We're super lucky to have all your expertise. As I know, you've been traveling the world, sharing your knowledge with everyone. So really appreciate your time.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure.